How do I speed up my design process? How do I make stuff that actually looks good without spending weeks or even months on it? Hi guys, my name is Mohammed Usman. I'm a designer. I'm a design student, an intern, a part-time freelancer. I do gigs as and when I can find them. Yeah, and also a content creator. Yeah, so a lot going on there. Because I've got so much going on in my life, as you guys can see, I often find myself asking this question: how can I speed up the things that I'm doing without compromising on quality, of course? This question had been bothering me for a long time because speeding up my design process will not only help me gain work on more projects, but it will also give me confidence that I'm able to do things. And when we are in that patch, when things are taking too long to get done, it often feels like hopelessness. To me, it does at least. So here are a few steps that have worked really well for me. I hope that they do for you as well. And I've seen these steps to work really well in any field, but I can speak better about design since I have been in this game for the past 5 years. So here's the trick that I use to speed up my work. It is to cut the deadline in half. I know it sounds like pressure, but hear me out. If you've ever heard of the Parkinson's law, if you have never heard of the Parkinson's law, here is what it is. The Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. So basically, if I give myself a month to do some work, if I give myself a month to clean my room, it will take me a month to clean my room. If I give myself a day to clean my room, it might only take a day. How long does it actually take? You might never know. And of course, I know this is easier said than done. So here's a little story that that might help help you believe me. I was working on this branding project, a logo design project for an architectural studio, and I had a discovery session with the client. We had been talking a lot about the business. I had got a pretty good understanding. We talked for hours. And then after we were done discussing about the business and how they wanted to position the brand, the client actually told me that they needed the logo by next week. Next week, and by the way, it was already Saturday at that time. So she basically wanted the logo by Monday or Tuesday max, and we were talking on Saturday. Like she wanted to present her business in an event that she was going to with the new logo. So I had to prepare the logo in that time, which was like 2 days. I got to work. I gave up 2 times. Actually, I gave up 5 times. I felt really depressed, but I ended up making a really good logo, and I was quite proud of it at the end of the day because I gave up 5 times. Got myself together 6 times, and that happened a lot of the times. But I managed to do it. So but this incident really taught me how far I can go and how less of a time span as well I can get things done instead of pushing things and thinking and contemplating and procrastinating. Those things take up a lot of time. Now, was that healthy? No, of course that was not healthy. That kind of pressure is not good for your health, regardless of what you say. I don't care that much about that, but that kind of stress is not that much helpful. But there is a lesson over here. I'm not asking you to cut your deadline into 2 days, but you can at least cut it to half. That might really help you. You know, yeah. Another benefit of cutting the deadline in half is that it also helps you focus on the things that actually matter, and it helps you do the actions that move the needle forward instead of focusing on things that are not actually important. In design, we often tend to just over romanticize things in the creative process. That is often we spend more time on things that are not actually as important than on the things that we should be spending time. So here's the three-step process that I use to speed myself up. Of course, I'm still trying to put this in stone. I'm still not good enough, but it has worked so far. Whenever I've used this, it works well for me. Oh yeah, before you use this process, before you get to work, just make sure that you're well rested. Okay, sleep plays a huge role, especially for us designers, because we have to think. Make sure that you are well fed. Don't sit on a hungry stomach. Just does not serve you well. And make sure that you don't have any preoccupying thoughts in your mind before setting for work. If there's some kind of fight or something that's going on in your head, make sure that you clear it out of your head before you set to work. It's quite better to for the work. Yeah, now get into this three-step formula or the three-step framework that I use. Step one is to know your enemy. In order to defeat your enemy, you must know your enemy. What is the project that you're working on? Is it a brand identity project? Is it a website? Is it a presentation, a pitch deck? Whatever project you're actually working on, understand what it is and what are the things you are expecting of yourself to produce for that project. For example, if you are working on a brand identity project, the key deliverables, the key outcomes comes would be a logo, a color palette, type of font selection, some illustration, brand assets. These are the key outcomes, right? Similarly, for a website, there will be layouts and guidelines and a specific grid that you would be using. So, whatever it is, actually study and get it in your head and even note it down. What is the end outcome that you expect from yourself at the end of this project? Which brings us to step number two, which is know thy enemy, which is divide and rule. Okay, now that you've understood what are the things that you need to tackle, what are the things that you expect yourself to produce, how are you going to get there? You need to look at your entire project and break it down into smaller parts. For example, if I'm working on a branding project, I would divide it into steps like mood board. I would offer first the discovery call with the client, then a mood board, then revisions, design session, design phase, picking colors, font selection, brand assets. All of these are little tiny steps, tiny milestones that eventually get you to your final goal of building the brand identity. You don't just sit and hammer away at building a brand identity. You build upon it step by step. These are little checkpoints that you keep. These are little tasks that you keep crossing off until you all of them are done and you have your end result. Okay. When you break it down into these simple tasks, it all of a sudden becomes a lot more manageable. Break your process down into tiny manageable steps and then label them according to how much time it should take. It is okay if it takes more than what time you designate. The time element is for you to get an idea about how much time resources you need to allocate on it. Okay. For example, how much time should I give for a mood board? Half an hour? Okay, half an hour sounds good. It's okay if it takes 45 minutes, but the time block is important. So at least you keep yourself accountable to that time block. And it's okay if you go beyond that time block, but holding yourself accountable makes sure that if not in half an hour, but in 1 hour, it will get done and it does not get stretched to the entire day. Because as designers, at least for me, it happens often, and I've seen people go through this. So, step two, divide and rule. Step three is the step where I failed 9 times out of 10. Okay, and I still continue to struggle with it. It is to do the work. Once you have decided the things that you need to work on, once you have decided how you're going to work on them, how much time you're going to spend on them, stop giving yourself excuses and just do the work. Because because I promise you, it will feel way better at the end. The project that I was earlier talking to you about, the logo for an architectural studio, while I was designing the logo, I had I just did not want to do it because it was really hard. I could not come up with new ideas. I was stuck. I was just sketching away at my paper. I did not make anything on my computer for a long time. I was just sketching on paper for a long time. So and I could not get any new ideas. I was just stuck. I was just trying to figure out things. I just wanted to give up and shut my book and just do something else, anything but this. But somehow, yeah, I'm not naturally good at this, but during that particular project, I just somehow got this inside of me that I will do what's required. I will not get up until I'm done with the logo. So you need to push through and persist through those steps as well. Sometimes you just won't find that color. The fonts might just not look good, uh, you know, but you need to persist through it because it takes time and it is worth it. And trust me, this three-step framework of know the enemy, divide and rule, and do the work has actually helped me a lot of the times, and if you follow it, I hope it helps you as well, and you will soon realize that it takes you a lot less headaches and a lot less time than it normally does, for me at least. Now once again, I do not speak about this from a pedestal, as of I'm the best designer out there, you guys should pathetic losers who should listen to me. No, I myself struggle with this problem to this day and date. I still struggle with this problem just this morning. Okay, so I still struggle with it, but I found this one silver lining that has worked well for me. So I really wanted to share with everyone on the internet and for my future reference. Keep being awesome. Bye.